I do believe we are live, so I'll say indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you for joining me again on another Conscious Evolution. Today's stream topic is about trust. It's about trust. I had some, I would say in so many words, concerning conversations with my mom today. Uh, Getting to hear what home is like, getting to find out that there are some tensions. And then this conversation around my brother kind of comes up. About 2 months, almost going on 3 months ago now. Yeah, going on 3 months ago now, I deposited 2,500 rand, which in South African money is a lot. It's like $120. $120 still sounds like a lot of money, right? I paid $120 into my brother's bank account. And I did this only upon him giving me a quote, because I asked him to help me build a cymatic wave generator, which in simple terms is a speaker driver, and then you put a liquid onset speaker driver, and then you have little LEDs lining the top of the container within which that speaker driver is put. And then those LEDs obviously make light, and as those speaker drivers vibrate, the water on top of them change shape. And that changed shape water basically reflects different frequencies or different troughs and dips of the light that is shining onto it. Right? And I explained that this is what I want, what I have. This is what I want to have built. I ask him to find out what the parts are gonna cost, and then he sends me a quote, and the quote comes out to like $95 or something like that. And instead of sending him the $95 that he quoted, I send him $120, right? Maybe an extra 25 bucks is not that much, sounding at the very least. But it's me kind of, putting some faith, putting some faith in my brother, giving him some extra capital that if he has any extra costs that he can cover that as well. And then I have this conversation with my mom. And she's, been fighting with him because he doesn't have any ambitions and he doesn't want to go through the process of getting certified. Like, they want him to go and do what's called an ambagskap. It's basically like a skill school. They teach you how to weld, or they teach you how to use CNC machines. They teach you a skill that you can apply in industry. And he has now applied to go to one of these things, but none of his other paperwork is in place. So they cannot give him what he's asking for unless they have what they ask for. And he doesn't want to give them what they ask for. He expects my mom to do that stuff for him, kind of vibes. And then my mom is fighting with him. Like, come on, dude, get this stuff done. And then, as I'm listening to this conversation, I ask, like, if he's not doing anything, and this is what my mom is complaining about, if he's not doing anything, he's not working, he's not earning any capital, he's just staying at home all day, how far is the machine? That's the word I use. It's not really a machine, but how far is the thing I'm having him build? And then she tells me that he said, why should he build it? Why should he build it? Melt isn't gonna pay me to build it, right? I did give him 25 extra dollars, right? Which is a lot of money still. And I paid for all of the parts. And he got all of the parts. And now the parts are just laying there on the floor somewhere, probably, not being assembled, because I don't want to pay him for that, is his exact words to my mom, right? And the level of anger that generates in my being is something that I feel inspired today's stream topic, where I trust, right? Like, the reason I asked my brother, I can do that stuff myself. Easy peasy, right? I can do that stuff myself. It's not rocket science. In fact, it's pretty simple. But knowing that my brother has nothing going on, I trusted. that he could benefit from putting something like this together. And if the product works, we might be able to sell it, which means he might be able to earn more money. He's earning no money right now. He's a 20 something year old that hasn't earned any money himself, right? Right? And then this experience I'm having right now, like just the level of like how fucking dare you, right? I trusted you to do this thing. It's not like I asked much, right? It's not like I asked you to fit the bill to pay for all of this stuff, but no, doesn't want to do anything. Just wants to sit at home and play freaking CS:GO. No, he doesn't play CS:GO. He plays Rainbow Six Siege. Same difference, right? I'm so fucking pissed. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. I'm pissed off right now. I want my money back. That's like actually what I'm feeling. I feel like I trusted a business, right? And this business being my brother, and they stole my money. And now I want my money back from this business, right? And I feel like I feel this sense of trustlessness towards this business. And it's a damn shame that that trustlessness is now attached to my brother as well. Like I will not ask him for help again. All right, and I am trying to take this feeling inside me as a lesson as to how I can not be when it comes to my business. Right, taking people's trust, bro. It's a big deal. I just dropped Duckling off at kindergarten for the first time. I'm having to trust them, but I'm not ready to give my baby to the world, bro. I feel that trust. It's cool that you're bringing that trust as a topic in here as well. Very uncool thing for your bro to do. It's just it's just this matter of like ambition, right? Like this is a cool thing to do. There is not many of this thing, this cymatic wave generator, or maybe cymatic wave visualizer would be a better word. There's not many of them in the entire world, right? I would be surprised if there's more than 100 of them on planet Earth right now. Then I foot the bill. I foot the bill to pay for all the parts, and he doesn't have enough fucking grit, not enough spine to just get it done, right? Like for instance, this weekend, I didn't get paid. In fact, I'm $25 poorer after this weekend for the work that I've done. But the equipment, right? The materials I needed to do something, to get a result, was there. And I could use that equipment to get a result. And yes, I might not have gotten paid for this weekend, but I networked with 3 different clients: Jules, Dominique, and Stefan. Right? Those 3 clients will potentially be supporting my business. You know, if I can make it happen, and I will. That's the fucking thing. I trust myself enough to make it happen. And I want my brother to succeed in this world. He's me, right? He even looks a lot like me with blonde hair. So I see this dude not trusting himself. Is it not trusting himself? Not trusting that he is going to be valued? Like I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off. Trusting can go both ways, I guess. You know, you can get pissed off trusting someone as well. I have an ungrateful brother too, sucks, but all the crap you got and now is the mooch. It's better to be pissed off than pissed on, as my uncle always used to say. Mel, did you tell your brother what you just said here? The problem with my brother, Nancy, is that he has a certain apprehension to being told that he's wrong with certain things, right? He's a 21-year-old 21-year-old that has technically never had anything going on. The biggest thing he has going on right now for him is the fact that he has a girlfriend, which I think unfortunately is directly negative for his own development, because this girlfriend unfortunately does not have any ambitions, and he is in a relationship with her, so there's no encouragement happening for him to do anything from her side either, right? The only people encouraging him to do anything at this point in time seems to be my mother, I have tried. I have literally invited him to come and do exercise with me. You know, I went through like a stint, and I remember telling you friends about that. I went through a stint of asking him to come and exercise with me every single time I went to exercise. And it became a fight of him like screaming at me to not ask him ever again, manene manene, right? So like he doesn't even have the follow through to want to take care of himself in that way, right? He refuses to be motivated in that way. And then now with the work fractal as well, like I don't know what I'm supposed to do, right? Trusting him with something has now backfired. I am poorer for the fact I would love to have that money back. That's the thing that I'm tripping out about the most, right? I can buy myself something usable. I can buy myself 2 weeks worth of food. I can buy myself 2 weeks worth of food with that money. What can you do? What can you do? Not trust? Maybe trust that I can't trust him. Maybe I should just go and get the parts myself and build it myself. Because again, the idea the idea of him building this machine, this thing, is to create a product that we can sell as a business. And then, as a result, we will have to have someone that makes said product, which means that my brother could have earned like 1,000 rand a machine if we actually get to sell these things. But you can't sell something you don't have. You can't sell something you can't show to a client. Like I have, oh man, I'm angry from a perspective of like, if this is the kind of way he's showing up in the world right now, he's gonna ruin his own life. And I trust that. I trust that he will ruin his own life on the trajectory he's on. But you can't exactly stop someone from having a girlfriend or force someone to care about something. I have asked him for help in the meanwhile as well with other things, but he's done nothing. The other thing that I asked help for is I wanted help designing a 3D file for this little pipe of mine. This piece specifically. Right? I gave him the measurements. He asked me for photos. I want one that has like a spiral going all the way around. A 3-point spiral that twisties. And he knows how to use 3D software. And I called him in the meanwhile to ask him if he had made any progress. But yeah, it's not happening. And I was going through this whole like trip in my mind about my mom telling me all of this stuff. And now I didn't really want to know any of this stuff today, realistically. I just kind of wanted to live in my blissful ignorance, believing that things are as they're supposed to be. And I guess it is a matter again of like trajectories. All of us are going somewhere, right? And in my mind, I want to end up in a somewhere where all of us are. But you can only feel comfortable in a place where all of us are if all of the people that are is trustworthy. You know? You have to be able to trust people to feel comfortable around them. At least I do. I have to feel comfortable around people to trust them. I was looking for my grinder for a second. Sorry about that. Let me see where I was. Doc, I hope your day is full of delight and her new adventures rather than stressing about it. True. Melt, bro sounds like he is having trouble humaning. Maybe a heart to heart might help. He's too far away for me to have a heart to heart with him, unfortunately. Right? Like, he's all the way back home, and I'm not going home much these days. Maybe I should call him and ask him, because again, right? Instead of him just being like, "Hey, bro, uh, that extra 25 bucks you sent me is not enough extra capital for me to feel like this is worth my time. Send me 50 more bucks." Then I can go, "Okay, that sounds fair," and I can send it, or I can go, "No, I would rather save the 50 bucks and build it myself." Right? But no, he would rather just not do the work and then about it to my parents. "Oh yeah, I'm just not gonna do the work because I'm not getting paid for it." I'm getting so fucking scared to get about it. Oh, Kristen, I'm not stressed, just aloof. I went from having to be on every wall. From having to be on every waking moment for the last 3 months to boom, 4 free hours a day. It's hard to describe. I'm going to post our family photo in Discord in general. Share some family vibes, please do, bro. Is there a market in the States? I have time on my hands, and I can build machine. There should be. Again, the way I want to use it is as an input. I want to use it as an input on my mapping software, right? So, to some people, it could be useful just as a visualizer, but to me, it's going to be useful as an element, right? In the same way a video would be an element, the same way a line effect would be an element. I want to have this as an element in my mapping that I'm doing for the events right now. So yeah, I am the market technically right now, but again, you can sell something like that to a venue because it literally visualizes the sound waves, the frequencies that is in that environment, and I think that's pretty cool. You're going to hate to hear this, but almost every 20-year-old is useless in life. When I was 20, I moved to a different country and started teaching children English. I didn't miss a single day of work. I moved between 3 different cities, going by train that I did not understand the language of. Neither the people helping me nor the boards that was on. I had to use my cell phone to translate things, and to try and find my way from city to city. Being 20 years old is not an excuse. It's not an excuse. Right? Like, by the time I was his age, I had already had a job. I'd already moved out of the house. I'd already moved out of the house for a year, worked for a year, earned money for a year, paid for my own apartment for a year, and then I moved to another country for now about like 6 months of my life at his age. Being 20 is not an excuse. He will be fine in the same way you were fine. You can bring horse to water, but you can't make it grow the fuck up. True. Melt, are you paying for the parts? Yes. Yes, I paid for the parts. Of course, you should pay for that. And I did. Does the amount of money you gave him include parts and labor? It included all of the parts that he quoted me for and 25 extra dollars, right? So he didn't quote me for labor, but I paid an extra amount of money. And he hasn't said anything about the amount of labor it has taken for him to build said machine. So it's not like I've received an invoice of like, "Hey dude, I've spent 10 hours doing this or whatever. Would you be willing to pay me for that time?" Nothing, right? It's just kind of like in my mind, shady behavior, right? Untrustworthy behavior. I was thinking the same thing, Doug. We all went through our head up the ass stage at that age. Mojo, my brother is still going through it at 35. There's probably a bunch of wind noise, isn't there? Maybe I can give you friends a little of an outfit. covers that microphone. It might muffle my audio a bit, but it might also improve the overall clarity if it takes away some wind noise. Nope. I might not be able to read the comment properly though. Okay, that's good. The birds in the background were doing your mocking voice. Yeah, thinking back at 20, I mostly wanted to party and be with my boyfriend. I didn't have a boyfriend when I was 20. Doc, I heard that too. It was great. Mel, you're sounding like your dad. Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. Again, bro. Like for me, it's a matter of principles, matter of standards, right? Like I don't want to see my brother have such low standards for himself. 20 as a child. If your dad said any of this to you, you would be fighting him. A child, adult, yep. I like my new outfit. Bless you. You look good in it. I wish I could show you what you look like. I find here in the States, at least, being 20 when I was 20 is different than being 20 these days. Faces at sunlight, the glare in the corner. I'm sorry. Maybe I can. Like, the way I have you set up is so precarious. Like, each leg is a different length. You're not on stable ground, to say it in so many words. So it is a little bit hard for me to position you. What I could do is like that. Where is sun? Right there. With glare, without glare. I can potentially make the glare less noticeable by huh. Did they take away the buttons? I think they did. There's no more video effects available. I'm for sure unstable. We're unstable. We are? Unstable is my middle name. There's a Netflix show called Unstable. And I related a lot to the dad in that show as well. It's basically about this tech mogul. Maybe tech mogul is the wrong word. This entrepreneur, very successful entrepreneur who created a biotech company. And he becomes very successful, and then he loses the love of his life. He loses his wife. And how that makes him unstable. And I felt a lot watching that. I saw myself watching that. If you feel unstable, I think you might appreciate it as well. I'm going to have a little bit more bud. And then maybe I'll think about saying goodbye. Trust. Having trust. Because you can trust in bad things as well, right? You can trust there will be failure. If you see a bridge made out of a bunch of straws, you're probably gonna trust that will fail if you stepped onto it. And you will probably not trust it with your life. I feel the lesson that I'm learning is if you know things, and you know those things will not be received well by those you know, then don't let them know. You know? I love my mom, but if I'm going to talk to her, I want to have like a nice conversation. I don't particularly want to talk about the things that are angering us. I know that there is a certain level of catharsis, is that the right word? Relief that comes from sharing the things that you are angry about, especially if you feel you are unable to in your environment. But in that way, you are bringing that combat, that experience into another environment. And if you are upset by the experience in your environment, then other people might be upset by the experience in their environments too. And I feel like that brings up an interesting quandary of like complexities, because there's nothing I can do about this problem that has been shared. I love being posed with a problem and being able to solve it, and I do not love being given problems that I can't solve. Because again, my brother isn't a problem, right? He is not a problem. He might have problematic behavior, he might have a problematic attitude towards life and towards his own actions, but he's not a problem. And unfortunately, when we are steered into the right direction, that is how we interpret that advice, that you are problematic, right? That there is something wrong with you. Instead of being able to really pay attention to what you're being told and actually adjust your behavior accordingly. You know what I think? And this is again my own bias. I think he hasn't taken enough psychedelics. By the time I was his age, I had already taken a lot of psychedelics. And it showed me that there is no room for self bullshit when it comes to what is required of you if you want to, in so many words, succeed at living your life. Like, you are very good at convincing yourself of things. And sometimes it takes a new perspective to realize. But again, the problem is that he will not be open-minded enough to embrace an experience like that again. He has before, but it's been like very low dose experiences. And who knows if he'll even learn from those experiences too. I'd hope so. I'd hope so. That is a message we try to convey from childhood. You are not a bad child. You just made a bad choice. Yeah. Yeah, but a series of bad choices. A series of bad choices can be made. Being responsible. Hey, Joe. It's nice having you here with us. I trust this morning finds you well. We've been talking about trust, trusting ourselves, the trust that is required of yourself to do the things that is required of you, people trusting you to do things, you trusting people to do things, and all of the complexities that is associated with that as an experience. I tend to trust people, but I also try in that way to be very trustworthy. I have never taken money from someone and not delivered the thing I promised I would give them. And I feel like that's like a psychological principle, that I didn't have to be taught, but something I know that if I had to fall short of, would absolutely ruin my life. And I trust in that wisdom. And it causes me great concern when thinking about my dear beloved brother. I had to trust a chiropractor not to break me. Do you feel better, Joe? I do hope so. Thank you for trusting. That is a big one. Trusting the chiropractor. I've never seen a chiropractor myself. I can imagine it's the same kind of trust if you had to get acupuncture, trusting someone to put needles in you. I'm thinking about this one exchange I had very long ago when I just came back from China to South Africa. I went to a festival called Twilight. And at this festival they had this little tent or gazebo called the Place of Soul. And this Place of Soul was basically just a place for a bunch of people to come together and have conversations, have cards pulled, have readings done. And there was this one little mini group that was burning some Palo Santo and doing like trust exercises with this coal, right? So it's a piece of wood like the size of my finger that you burn on the one side. It smells like a sweet woody flavor, It smells amazing. And if you haven't ever gotten a piece of Palo Santo, maybe consider like you can find it on Amazon probably. Palo Santo sticks. You burn it and then you blow out that little flame and it makes a little smoke. And then it has this burning red coal. And then that little red coal, that ember, if you will, attached to that stick, gets close to your face. All right. And the first time I had this experience, I was the first one in line for this trust exercise. This person lights this thing on fire, and this is not a judgment of the person, but more context of the situation, right? And I knew I was in a festival, I knew the environment I was in, but the person that was sitting across from me had like tattoos up to their neck, their head was completely shaved, they were older, and you could see that there was maybe a time in their past when they were not taking good care of themselves, right? So from a perspective of who I've been told as a child who is trustworthy and who is untrustworthy, this person from an appearance perspective would have qualified as an untrustworthy person. And yet with that person holding this Palo Santo stick and a burning hot coal on their hands, they asked me to close my eyes. And I closed my eyes. And then I proceeded to feel the warmth of that coal go around my face, over my nose, right? Over my cheeks. And it was surreal, right? You obviously sit very, very still so that you don't get burned. But it is a matter of trust that I have never again really reached, in a way. Not from a perspective of not wanting to, but from a perspective of never having been given such high stakes. And in that way, I feel that that experience allowed me to trust people more since. And usually it's not that disappointing, right? Trusting people hasn't always been met with a sense of disappointment. And I think maybe that's why I was so peeved today in stream by the fact that this break of trust occurred by a family member of all people instead of just a stranger. Back. Thought I had an issue with my refrigerator. Was it running? I'm sorry. My sympathetic system feels better. The antibiotics I'm taking got my parasympathetic system all wacky, but it's for the better. For your ear? Mojo, Heather, Nancy, Sam, Doug, Kristen. Love you, friends. We love you too, Jovan. Thank you for joining us. We can pull a card, see what the Oracle deck has to say today. Do project. Oh, a little bird just came and said hi. This one. We pulled this card when we performed a smelt the last time. I had done all of the visuals, gotten it set up, and I did visuals this weekend again, just passed, and it feels kind of synchronous. Star Seed, what lights you up? What lights you up? Star seeds are souls with a double mission: to raise their own consciousness and the consciousness of the planet. They are all souls who have incarnated elsewhere beyond this planet before. Many star seeds arrive with a feeling that time is running out and that there is something that they came here to do or create or contribute. If you pulled this card, it is to confirm that you are a star seed and you are being encouraged to answer the call, to follow what lights you up. Once awake, most star seed souls find it hard to have meaningless conversations, jobs, and relationships. They innately know that there is much more to life and feel that there is something more, and they get to work. They remain restless until they step into their calling, which is to light up the world with their unique presence. Star seeds are scattered all around the planet, in hospitals and schools, in slums and mansions, on stages, in edit suites, in parks and nightclubs, in taxis and theme parks. Many star seeds spend part of their lives trying to fit in or in some form of spiritual closet. If you are dimming your light to fit in, it is time that you stop and start embracing the unique light that you came here to share. Treat your time on Earth like a gorgeous vacation. Glad to hear your chiropractor visit went well, Jovan. A lot of folks like to fearmonger those people, and it's mostly undeserved. True. Thank you, Sam. This was my second appointment, and I can't believe the difference on mobility. She said that yoga has made me extra bendy, and I'm hard to adjust though. How about that? I mean, I don't think it's hard. I don't think it's bad being hard to adjust. Right? I feel like that communicates a certain resiliency. I think so at the very least, right? Rigid things break. She probably is very used to people having like tight muscles and her like pushing against their backs or their legs. You know, there's some fight there that she gets to push against. Yeah, it's life changing, but Dr. Jeff does us quite a bit of force with me as well. Does use is the word. Quite a bit of force with me as well. Yeah, the human body is strong. I have unfortunately seen footage of doctors operating on someone's knee and using an actual hammer with a hook, and they're like hitting that hammer. Looks like he's using like full manpower, to hit that hammer on that knee. I mean, it's not directly on the knee, it's like the thing hooking on the knee that he's hitting, but goodness. People are strong. Strong. I did yesterday share the experience I had with a leg cramp, and my leg is still hurting, but I'm appreciate that it's strong. It is, it is very nice. I appreciate you friends for joining me today. Thank you for spending some time here under the tree. Put some debris in my eyeballs. So the story So the story is that I had a best friend and her mom was dating my chiropractor, who my family had known for many, many years. And one night, we're down in her basement, and she's like, I have to wait for this story. And she's like, he put a deeper head on my car. He put a deer head on my car. We have to get him back. And so we do. We covered this man's truck with post it notes, and goodness, he was irate. How long did that take, Sam? Covering someone's car in post it notes. Seems like fun though. This man has his motive and opportunity to break my neck and has the post it notes. Well, I've woken up with leg cramps before in excruciating pain. I have found that works best for me is to move my foot in different positions until the cramp is released. That's the exact same thing that I actually did. Like rolling my ankle, rolling my foot into different directions. That also helped me a lot. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, friends, for being your beautiful selves, for joining me, for trusting me with your time. Sorry that I was about this experience of trust that I feel was broken, right? But I hope that if anything, it's communicating to me and to you how important trust is, right? And how that you breaking someone's trust affects them, and them being affected can affect other people, and so on and so forth. If you know, if you can trust that you sharing certain information with someone is going to be distressing, maybe don't. I think that's something we can trust in as well. And I feel like that is up to your own discretion, because some information is better to share even if it is distressing. I thank you again. Thank you again. I hope you have a beautiful day, dear friend. It's a pleasure being able to share my heart. Whatever is in it in this moment, you friends make me feel loved. I love you so much. I appreciate you. So, as one more said, it took a couple of hours to cover the whole cab. Their bathroom window was open, and we had to stay quiet. But he told me they never woke up, and he didn't know until he went to get ready for church. That's hilarious. Hope you all have the most wonderfulest day, Melt, and all of you wholesome, beautiful peoples. I love you, Joe. I'm happy that your chiropractor appointment went well. Sending you lovings, dear friends. See you again soon, tomorrow.